Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where today we're talking NWA Saturday Night on TBS from May 26, 1990. I'm sitting here with Doc and Hardbody Harper. Doc is in a pissy mood, so before I throw it to him, I want to give a special shout out to our largest patron contributors monthly, Disrespectfully Classy, Mark E. Blassie, Mike Childry, and Joe Priest. Thank you for your generous support on Patreon each and every month. And now I'll throw it to Doc and ask how he's doing since he's pissed off still.
I'm great, dude.
That's not what you said earlier.
It's not true. That is not true. As not true at all. What I want to know, first of all, before we get into it, Mike, are we going to be able to do this show? Can you concentrate? Is your dog going to go out there and eat anything else on Sasha's watch, or do you need to just quit the podcast?
Harper, how you doing?
Maybe your dog's a drug addict.
Mike's dog does more drugs than his dog does more drugs than he does. What a straight-laced narc.
I know, what a dork.
I guess everybody's okay. I mean, we're talking about shit here.
We're doing great, man. Our football team's won again this week, so we're sitting on top of the division.
I don't know why you give football updates. These things come out a week after the fact, and it's like outdated.
Well,
it's really dumb, to be honest with you.
I told T-Hog what was going to happen to him, and it went even better than I could have ever imagined.
It's almost like the episode that we're about to watch.
Yeah, we're taking our cue from Herd.
Christ, man.
So football's doing well. I'm feeling good, Mike. I'm feeling blessed. How about you?
You're feeling blessed?
You want to tell the people about the bonus show that just dropped with Southern wrestling historian, the champ?
Why are you laughing, Harper? He started getting hot in the middle of it, man. He was getting mad about something. I don't even remember what it was now. Started talking about the time he was on Busted Open Radio and how he started cutting a promo, and he's like, he was all angry. I was like, bro, you need intervention, man. You're angry, man. Come on, calm down. I don't know. He was all hot. He still claims he's always been a Southern wrestling fan, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't
we all?
I don't know what to make of that. Do you?
Do you have a certain saying for that? It's all a work. Is that it?
Harper, do you want to take a stab at it? He was mad at you when we were recording.
He was. He said, "Fuck Harper."
He said, what did he say, Doc? You heard it. You listened to it. You said, right?
He said, "I'm tired of that motherfucker." You text him and then like he don't respond for like days.
Well, so I'm busy.
We recorded Tuesday night. By the time this airs, it had been a week and a few days ago, and so I think at the beginning of it, I may have said something like, do you want to bring Darren on? And he cuts a promo on Darren. He was like, no, Darren's like Brock Lesnar. You only bring him in 4 to 5 times a year. I think I told you that part.
I would have thought he's more like Gilbert.
That would have been a better comparison too. But then on the Harper, I was like, I wasn't sure if you're going to want me to call Harper, because every other time, Harper, that we've recorded, he's always like, yeah, call Harper. So, Luke likes these 4-man pods, which can be difficult. The 3 of us do it well, I think, because we don't step on each other's toes much. And when we do, we're like, all right, no, you say what you're about to say. So we're good about the dance. But you get 4 people on that don't do it all the time, and you just have people talking over each other nonstop. So I was like, have you talked to Harper? Fuck him. I was like, oh. I was like, he's like, I tried to call him 3 times on Sunday after the Saints game. He won't pick up my calls.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Apparently you were too busy on Facebook about the Saints.
That wasn't it. I actually posted something on Harper's page. I don't remember what it was. It was a meme. It was something stupid. And I tagged Luke in it. So Harper commented on the post. And on that post is where Luke said, "Be nice if you answer your phone." He was in a pissy mood.
He needs to be the first one that you ether. That's what I'm saying.
That's nice.
Doc, before we get jumping, and we're not gonna waste a lot of time on this week's episode. What other flips and dives you got?
I just want to say, and this is going to lead to some discussion, I'm afraid, and in not a good way. But we if you're a patron, hopefully you've already listened to the Capital Combat review. We don't want to give too much away about that, but I can tell you Harper joined us, so that means right there it's worth the price of admission. And where else are you going to hear all three of us take turns at singing the James Brown classic "Living in America"?
Living in America.
See, you can't sing now because it's on the page. You got to tell them what they're missing. No, see, this is how you're giving it away for free.
Detroit City.
Hey. So if you're not a patron, we had a lot of fun with that. We went for a good solid 2 hours last night talking about the RoboCops.
I'm sorry, Doc. I'm thinking about living in America.
Why not?
Detroit City, Dallas, Pittsburgh, PA, New York City. He just kept going on and on.
Atlanta.
And they were like, when is he going to wrap this up?
What I said last night, it's his last big hit.
Superhighways, coast to coast, easy talking, anywhere. That was very entertaining back in the day. All right. Oh, boy. What else we got, Doc? It was a hell of a pay-per-view to review. I know you didn't like it. Harper and I were a little bit higher on it. But you can listen to that at tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT.
If I'm not mistaken, we got to turn around and do a clash here pretty quick.
We got about 2.5 weeks. We got to do a clash. Luckily, the clashes aren't 3 hours. They're a little bit shorter. And I think that's the clash, as we're going to see. I believe that's the clash where we're going to see Rick versus JYD.
Can't wait for that.
What are they going to do? Have a pie eating contest?
Set your DVR for that one. Watch his fat ass lay all around the mat. Boy.
Jesus, look at you.
I'm sorry. Dude, have you ever seen that match?
Your community.
Have you ever seen that match, Doc?
No.
Oh, my God. He is 2 minutes in, sucking wind like he's going to die.
I've seen that match, and it's obvious.
Is that where you patterned the Menace character off of?
Sure. He looks so bad, but we'll talk about that when we review it. Again, that's tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. Get our pay-per-view that we just reviewed, Capital Combat 90. Hear Harper cut his promo on RoboCop, and I mean, it was a splendid promo. I looked at it today, right before we were recording, and I think it was about 12 minutes long, man, that segment, and Harper was going off. He's been dying to do it, so the only way you're going to be able to hear that is there. tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. And then I want to welcome Jake G to the BTT Hall of Fame Patreon level. So thank you, Jake. Again, you can sign up. You don't have to become a Hall of Famer, but tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. Get access to 300 plus Patreon shows, including all of our Clash of the Champions, all of the WCW pay-per-views we've done through 1990 so far, and so much more. Dark Side of the Rings that we've done. We did the A&E biographies earlier this year. Tons of stuff available there. 300 plus episodes, plus the video versions. Okay, Doc, do you have anything before I hit start record on the video version of this week's show?
Only one more thing, and it's been 2 months since we've had a 5-star review. That's really fucking unacceptable.
Bro, what the fuck these assholes been doing?
Nothing. Just sitting around, just breathing in all the germs.
Oh, God.
6 years from now, Harper's going to listen to the opening where he just said, what the these assholes doing? And he's going to say, I shouldn't have said that.
You can't call people assholes anymore.
Yeah.
Put a muzzle on. Oh, boy. All right. Well, I tell you what, time to get into it. It is May 26, 1990, like we've talked about. This is the show after the pay-per-view, Capital Combat 90 with RoboCop. And we jump into the show. We're in the Georgia Mountain Center again. They recorded this, or taped this, I should say, on May 23rd, 1990. There were about 1,500 people, according to the research that I did on the history of WWE.com in the WCW section. So, not horrible. Again, decent crowd. The show opens up. JR promises a big surprise for the Horsemen, and then we head straight to the ring for Tommy Rich and Johnny Ace. Oh, one other thing. I did want to mention that. So, Doc, what we're going to talk about later, the thing we talked about during the pay-per-view where somebody's in the hospital before their match and they air it after the fact. I just want to point out also, notice that Cornette has the U.S. tag belt. So
yes.
they got that right related to what happened at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which was a good match. You got to go become a patron and hear us cover it between Corny's team and the Z-Man and Pillman. So they got this right. Corny's got the U.S. tag title belt. However, they botched something else. We'll get to that later, so no need to get started on that now. But did you catch that, Harper? How they got that right?
I was like, okay, well, that's correct.
We're not giving brownie points for just being correct.
Well, come on.
We're going to subtract some for the other way.
All right, so we keep moving. We go straight to the ring after we see the A&W ad, and we're going to have Tommy Rich. Okay.
We talked about this last week, but I keep coming back to the fact that Nintendo's got to be a huge get for them in 1990.
Yeah, dude. For real.
I mean, Sega, Nike, Coca-Cola, sure, those are going to be bigger. But this ain't like Goody's headache powder and shit. Nintendo is a name brand.
It's the biggest video game. Fuck.
I mean,
yeah, that is huge.
I think the fact that I think A&W had to be.
Yeah, I mean,
mid-size. They're a mid-size.
Yeah, right. They're a nice mid-size company.
Now, Harper, why didn't we get NWA on the ring apron here?
God, do they still call it NWA, or is that
still? It's still the NWA right now.
Well, don't tell them that.
They're not sure.
Harper was all over the brand management and the marketing at the pay-per-view as well, just so everybody knows.
It was inconsistent, to say the least.
Well, we go to the first match. It's Tommy Rich and Johnny Ace versus the State Patrol. Now, I want to point out, Tommy Rich tagged with Captain Mike Rotunda at the pay-per-view, but don't worry about that. Go ahead, Harper. What?
It's almost like... It's like when you played a video game, and it's a tag team match, and then you just hit like random select, and it just picks two random wrestlers. That's like what this is.
He's not wrong.
It's like Tommy Rich is he's the fucking Chris. What's the guy? Fritz Patrick, the quarterback. That's him a fucking tag team wrestling. He's with a different fucking team every fucking week.
Tommy Rich, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Every week he's tagging with somebody else.
Yeah. He just tagged on a pay-per-view with Captain Mike. Let me remind everyone. Tommy Rich and Johnny Ace, the state versus the State Patrol. JR is really promoting this big surprise for this week. Flair comes out on commentary, and he asks JR and Cornette what this big surprise is, and JR says, well, you're just going to have to wait till later on where we'll break the news. And then JR continues sharing information, we never expected today regarding this surprise. And then JR also brings up Mr. Wrestling 2 is joining today. Corny isn't too happy with this. We also get a mention of the next clash that Doc mentioned earlier. This is coming up in a couple of weeks. Again, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. And then JR also mentions that Paul Orndorff will be here today. So besides this match going on, lots of information is shared about what is going to happen on this week's show as these guys wrestle. The crowd actually was kind of into this, I thought. Yeah. They were getting up, and yeah, it wasn't like they were dead. It's Georgia, so it makes sense. And Tommy Rich and Johnny Ace win when Rich hits the greatest looking Thez press ever because he's the greatest NWA World Champion of all time. Doc, any thoughts on this matchup?
So we introduced somebody at the pay-per-view last night. We're introducing somebody here, and we're just mentioning in passing that they're going to be here tonight.
And they're wearing the same clothes.
Well, that guy is, but Orndorff, I mean, couldn't we
Orndorff-
get a little bit better introduction for him onto the Saturday night program?
Yeah, for real, huh?
Yeah, because Orndorff is the key is he's not the surprise.
Well, who do you think was a bigger wrestler?
The surprise is the guy that was on the pay-per-view last night.
Well, I got an explanation for that when we see it.
Who you think was a bigger wrestler, JYD or Mr. Wonderful with their career?
Orndorff.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think Orndorff had a longer run.
Yeah. JYD at the height of his popularity was he was that dude. But the problem was
Orndorff had a run with Hogan.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
Orndorff had a run with Hogan, and I mean JYD. The thing was his run in WWF was fine. He was already out of shape, and the sad part is he's 60 pounds heavier by the time he gets here. I mean, if you thought he was big last year,
you think Tommy Rich is like with Johnny Ace and Captain Mike, and he's like, man, I used to be the champ. Or is Tommy Rich saying, hey, man, this beat's working on the indies?
Yeah, I think he's thinking that. I think he's just happy to be there.
Is he pay me at this point?
Yeah.
I'm sure them WCW checks bought a lot of Goodies headache powder, pal.
Come on.
What does that mean?
It means he could take care of his headaches. What do you want me to say? Yeah.
You're going to get canceled for that in a few years.
Yeah.
Okay. Doc, any other thoughts on this classic 5-star matchup? It wasn't a bad match, actually.
Wrong team won.
Yeah.
Wrong team won.
You think the State Patrol ever won in house shows?
I think they won in house shows, and there were probably some Saturday nights where they picked up some wins later on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too. Harper, they're around forever. Like they're into the Monday night Nitro days. They're around forever. Yeah, that's why I was like, you don't remember when they first came back, when they first showed up. I was like, when they first showed up as State Patrol. Let me point out because they were doing jobs before then. I was like, you don't remember them? You're like, no. Yeah, State Patrol was around forever. They were always on Saturday night back then. And I'm talking about once Nitro starts, they were always on Saturday night, I thought. But yeah, I think Doc's right. They picked up a few wins here and there. I mean, they're two talented guys. I mean, they know what they're doing. I had a hell of a gimmick. Not the best gimmick ever like Calloway, though. Okay, Doc, any other thoughts as this match wraps up and we're going to see Rich and Ace win?
No.
Okay. Here it comes. Look at that Thesz press. Watch how awesome this is. I mean, he really nails it. Boy, look at, here comes. Oh, look at that. Tremendous. Put his sack right in his jaw. That's really good work. Doc, you're not putting it over. All right, Doc, let's go now.
I just want to get out of your way so that you can do a great job of putting him over.
Yeah.
Giving him the Barnett treatment.
Let's go to Ric Flair and Ole Anderson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to talk to Mr. Wrestling 2 here at this situation.
Now, just forget about wrestling number 2. You talk to us for a second. You're out here telling everybody you got a big surprise for the Horsemen, a big surprise for Flair. Well, I want you to know, if you didn't quite get it already, that we're not talking about a title shot for Luger again, and we're not talking about a title shot for Sting again. So now, I'm asking you as polite as I can, what is the surprise?
Well, only if I told you the surprise, it wouldn't be a surprise now, would it?
Cut the crap. All I want to know is, what do you know that we don't know? You're being real smug on the TV program, telling people you got a little surprise for the Horsemen, and I'm saying, what is that surprise?
Well, I'll tell you something. You guys like to surprise people all the time.
You can't just stand here and fantasize. I'm a busy man. The Horsemen are busy people. We want to know right now what you and Turner have got in mind for us.
Well, I'd love to tell you, but we've got to take a station break. Fans, we'll be right back. Yes, we do. Let's go to the break right now.
I love Ole, man. He's just a crusty old man. He's got the Do Somebody In outfit on. He's just pissed, and it's perfect. Doc, what'd you have from this?
Cut the crap.
Yeah, cut the crap, Ross.
It's perfect. It's perfect. They want to know what the hell.
Who is it? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yeah. What's in the box? Come on.
Mike still has no idea what we're talking about.
It's true though.
Educate yourself someday.
Yeah.
You should try to do that.
You should try expanding your horizons past just sitting on the couch for 14 hours on Saturdays watching college football all day.
Yeah. Free your mind and the rest will follow.
I do nothing of the sort.
That's alive right there.
Any other thoughts? I thought Ole was awesome.
He was.
All right. Well,
it's not going to help. It's not going to save this episode.
No.
Here's the segment of the episode where Jim Ross and Jim Cornette,
Hold on. This is about to be the worst thing by a mile that we have ever seen on any program. This makes Tim Horner look like Ric Flair. I'd rather watch a 60-minute marathon match where Norman is cloned and wrestles himself.
Oh, God.
In amateur wrestling, because this is unfucking forgivable.
Again,
I'm going to be in a bad mood after you play it.
I want you to pay attention to something. Ross and Cornette, they tease the surprise some more, and then they throw to Lex Luger, who's in the hospital. But also, Corny's got the U.S. Tag Title belt on his shoulder.
Where did he get it?
They won it at the pay-per-view.
Really? So there's been a pay-per-view. Which one?
I'm going to hit play. Here we
Capital
go.
Combat, 1990, the return of RoboCop.
For the first time.
Let's go to this segment now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Championship Wrestling. Still to come, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. We're going to show the fans in just a few moments, plus that big surprise coming up.
Wait, what is this surprise going on? You got Flair in an uproar, you got everybody in an uproar. What's the surprise, Jim?
You'll find out in due time.
I don't like surprises. I don't care who else does.
Well, apparently the Horsemen don't like them either, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to have to wait, same as you, James.
You don't know.
Well, I want to tell you something. We're going to show a feature here in just a moment. Our colleague, Tony Schiavone, went to the hospital that Lex Luger is now in and had a... You think that's funny?
Yeah, I think that's real funny because Ric Flair must have had a great-granddaddy that was an Indian, some kind of witch doctor, because he's put a curse on everybody who tries to take that title. Luger's in the hospital.
Luger
His own fault. He shouldn't have come out of it.
Well, Luger was in the cage, and, of course, that cage was supposed to keep the Horsemen out. It did not at Capital Combat, and the beating that ensued put Luger back into the hospital. I don't think he should have been there in the first place as far as that's concerned. But right now, let's go to our colleague, Tony Schiavone, this special feature with Lex Luger at bedside in the hospital.
Okay, Lex, we've talked to your doctor. I know you've had a temperature over 103 for the past couple of days, and to be honest with you, that leg does not look good at all.
Tony, I'll tell you what. It's going to take a lot more than a little discoloration and a little swelling in my leg down here to keep me from Capital Combat and Ric Flair in a cage.
I understand that, but the doctor has said, pointedly, this is a serious staph infection that you may not even be able to get into the ring May 19th.
You know, Tony, I've had 7 days here staring at this ceiling, thinking about nothing else but Capital Combat 90 in this hospital. And damn it, I don't care if they rip these tubes out of my arm, Tony. I don't care if I have to crawl, take a bus, a train, however I have to get there. I am going to be there in that ring in Capital Combat 90. Flair's reign of dominance and terror is finally over. I've got him where I want him. I'm not going to let it slip through my fingers.
Well, fans, we don't know when Lex Luger will be back in action, but knowing that great competitor will be sooner than we think. No. Now, I've invited...
Hit the tagline, Harper.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's the right one.
No, it's key to point out. It's key to point out.
You know, the camera doesn't go to his leg and show you the damage. And he says he got a staph infection. I was like, yeah, he probably got an infection for one of the nursing staff, if you know what I mean.
He took. You saying he took her temperature?
Oh yeah.
So. I want to be fair to Ross and Cornette here. They position it like he suffered an injury at the pay-per-view.
Right.
But the segment that they throw to was from previously recorded segment where Luger and Shivani are now acting like this is pre-pay-per-view, and they don't know if he's going to be there when we just watched the pay-per-view and reviewed it. So, Doc, are you going to hang up? You don't want to do the rest of the show? Because that's the vibes I'm getting from you.
Somebody's got to get fired. Am I wrong?
You think they just didn't give a fuck?
I don't.
You think they were like, fuck it, we're just gonna cash the checks, It's like kind of like fucking Urban Meyer for the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. Is like,
No, because that's funny. That's funny to watch. This is not funny.
Nah, I'm not going to say that. Watching what Urban let get away with in Ohio State, that ain't funny.
No, I meant now.
Right.
Well, he's just a buffoon. He's just a clown. I mean,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. No, him allowing domestic abuse to happen and then claiming his wife never told him. Shut up. You're just an idiot. Yeah, he's just a moron. He's an idiot. No other way to say it. But no, I don't know who's gonna fire. I mean, Jim Hurd. What I want to know is who did this, and
why are they still employed?
Because, I mean, it's easy to pin that on Hurd, but you think Hurd's cutting the tape together?
No.
That's my point. But at the same time...
He's just talking to ruse.
But he's leading the organization where this kind of shit's possible.
Yeah.
Well, we already know there's no quality control. I mean, you can see it by...
None.
We got Arnie Anderson twice on the graphic, and you're going to see it again.
That's a mistake.
ARNE.
This is...
a clusterfuck.
Thank you.
This is like a guy catching an interception and then running the wrong way.
And go and get a safety.
Yeah.
And spiking and high stepping the whole way.
Right.
I mean, it's not Luger's fault.
Right.
No, not Luger or Shivani. It's all... It's all... I just want to know who did it. I want to know who spliced the tape together. I want somebody to write into the drive-thru, even though Cornette doesn't really answer questions anymore about classic wrestling, it seems.
Yeah, bro, what the fuck, dude?
Maybe we should start doing that.
I want somebody because this is something I'm curious about. I want to know if he remembers this and what he knows about it, and if he can shed any light on it, because they sure did. I mean, this is as bad as them airing an episode from 2 weeks prior, except what they do is drop one clip from a minute of an episode a minute clip that should have been in a previous episode is in the middle of this one. It makes no sense. And Ross and Cornette, they did the correct wraparound to throw to it, but the actual segment that should have been there of him talking about an injury in the cage and afterwards.
Yeah.
He's talking about his injury before. Staff, I got fever. Ooh.
I got a back injury. It's spinal. like that fucking Mike Tyson meme. I broke my back. It's spinal.
All right. Well, let's keep moving. Unless you've got something else to say, Doc.
You think they had to rent out that fucking room from the hospital and just,
Only if the hospital was as good of workers as the wrestlers.
I'm trying.
That shit looks like the beginning of a gay. It looks like the beginning of a gay porn.
Oh, come on.
You think that's funny, huh?
I just said, Tony's got his mustache. No mustache rides.
I was trying to look, so I mean, it looks like it could be I don't know.
I mean, that's a real hospital.
That's a room.
Yeah.
Are we sure that could be just a doctor's office, huh?
Maybe.
No, I don't know, because they got the fucking sockets on the wall and then.
Maybe so. Okay.
I mean, that's a hospital bed, right? Yeah.
It looks like one.
Yeah.
Well, It's May 16th, and Luger's saying here he's going to do everything he can to be at Capital Combat when it was a week earlier. But anyway, any other thoughts, Doc, before I keep going? You got anything else you want to say?
Just terrible.
Right.
Unforgivable, awful horseshit.
Oh, coming out of that, we go to Mr. Wrestling number 2. Let's go hear what he's got to say.
Now, I've invited an old friend of mine to join us here on World Championship Wrestling, indeed a legend in the sport of wrestling. I'd like to bring out now Mr. Wrestling 2 here to World Championship Wrestling. I know you know him very well, Corny.
Yeah, I know Mr. Wrestling, too.
Good seeing you, too.
Yeah, I'm a commentator. We don't have no problems, and I'm keeping an eye on that right leg because I know what that knee lift is like, okay? No problem.
Oh, you have nothing to worry about. That knee has only been applied to men anyway, so you don't fit that bill.
Two, I'll tell you something. You and I both know the secret that we're talking about, the surprise for the Horseman. What are your thoughts on it? Without letting the cat out of the bag for James Z, he doesn't know.
Well, you know and I know that the Horseman has always been high on surprises, providing they're giving them. And this is one time the surprise is coming the other way. And fortunately, I am looking forward to hold this whole thing together for the simple reason that Ole Anderson and, Iron Anderson and Ric Flair, these guys are the most devious guys in the wrestling profession today, as far as I'm concerned. I've watched them many times over. And this is going to be a surprise. I guarantee you people out there, they won't forget.
Wait a minute.
Don't interrupt me when I'm
He's going on about a surprise. You're going on about a surprise. What is the surprise?
The surprise is going to be real good because I can guarantee you when it all comes down and when it happens, they're going to have the surprise of their life, including you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite Mr. Wrestling 2 to stay with James Z and I right now. We've got more great action here on World Championship Wrestling. Let's go up to the ring in our next great event. It features Arn Anderson.
I don't think either one of you know.
Doc, you got the sniffles tonight? God, you're blowing my eardrums out.
What?
You're blowing my eardrums out.
That's not me.
Okay. No, he's going to lie to me. Doc, what did you think about... So, everybody direct your hatred towards him, because he had cleaned that up for a while, but I guess his little sinuses, are getting to him again. What did you think about that, Doc? Wrestling 2 there.
He said, "Don't interrupt me," and Corny just kept interrupting him. If he's a real man, he would have grabbed him by the throat.
How old do you think he is right there? You can't see his
I don't
face,
know.
So.
Old.
When did he retire?
I don't know, but I looked it up before. He's like 56 years old right there.
Yeah. He's a lot shorter than they are.
He was never
He
tall.
was huge in the PWIs in the early 80s, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you were a big Mid-South fan, you wouldn't realize this. Wrestling 2, he had a history with Cornette from Mid-South. When 2 and Magnum TA, they had got together and they first feuded with... Yeah, they were a tag team and they feuded against the Midnight Express when Cornette and them were first getting into Mid-South. So there is a lot of history there. Even though 2 ended up turning on TA and whatnot, there still was history with Corny and him. So that's why he came in there and was like, I don't want no problems. I'm just a commentator here. And then 2 basically called him a woman. He said this knee lift is only for men.
We need to cancel him over that.
Yeah.
2 called him a woman. Anyway, they continue with the surprise. Harper, do you have anything else from this?
No.
Keeping it moving, we got Arn Anderson versus Paul Drake. Wrestling 2 is on commentary with JR, and they continue to play up this big surprise. Boy, they're just drilling it home. Arn makes quick work of Paul
Big
Drake.
is
He hits
the word.
Arn gets this over with quickly. He hits the DDT. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Paul Drake loses. There it was. I went too far. Any thoughts on this match, Doc?
Very short but effective, and I thought, Arn gave him one move or two, but then hit that DDT, and it's a rizap.
Yep.
So then we go to Rocky King. Yes, Rocky King. They bring in Rocky to tease the surprise now. And we see a graphic as we go to commercial that they are still teasing the surprise. I'll try to get to it as we're watching here. What they do, if you think this week's bad, just wait.
Wait till what?
A few months later when Rocky joins a certain team.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering about that.
Why did they make Rocky King seem like Eddie Murphy doing buckwheat on Saturday Night Live?
This does not age well.
No. And I bet you he
And it's
probably
not the
called
only
his
thing on
family,
this.
and I'm gonna be on TV tonight.
It's not the only thing on this episode that doesn't age well.
Rocky
no.
King also was a really good dude. Bobby Blaze has talked about him on the show years ago, how nice of a guy he was. Rocky King was the ultimate pin me, pay me. Just, yep, I'll lay down, do what you want me to do. I think he told Bobby Blaze something like, Bobby, you ain't gonna make that kind of money nowhere else. Just go ahead on, bring that cash, bring that check to the bank and cash it. And that encapsulates Rocky King. What were you about to say, Harper?
I don't remember.
Uh-oh. He's got his shit now.
Well, I hope he doesn't step away at this moment because we're going to go to Ric Flair and Ole Anderson. And Ole doesn't like that JR interviewed Rocky King. Here it is.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Championship Wrestling. I'm sure the Horsemen are still anxiously awaiting
No, we're not anxiously awaiting. The world champion is demanding right now here to be told what the surprise for himself and the Horsemen is. Bottom line, Ross, spit it out. Who is it?
Rick,
You know what, Ross? It's something when you interview a guy like that, Rocky King. I don't much like that at all. We asked you real nice before, and I'm asking you again, what's this big surprise you got?
I'm going to answer you very politely.
Hey, we don't even talk to guys like Rocky King. But if you don't cough it up, I'm going to get in that ring right now, and I'm going to grab him by the neck. We'll find out right now.
I'm not going to tell you. It's that simple. You have to wait. It's a surprise. You like to surprise everybody? Where you guys going? Fans, the surprise for the Horseman is on his way. They can't stand this anticipation. Let's go up to ring announcer Tony Gillum and our next event. Ladies and gentlemen, this match.
Okay, I was going to keep playing it. What do y'all have? Did y'all want me to keep going, or you want to comment on Flair?
He really does have to take a shit.
What? I don't know. It's how Flair says we don't talk to people like Rocky King.
It gets worse. That was nothing compared to what's coming.
Where we're going.
Let's keep going.
Match is set for one fall. In the ring from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing 261 pounds, Cactus Jack Benson. And across the ring, his opponent. He hails from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 221 pounds. Here he is.
Relax. Jack, first of all, you just take a powder. You don't have to wrestle, all right? I'll pay you a couple. Yeah. Go home. Get out of here. Leave me alone. And you just take it easy. Rocky, get that microphone here. Relax. Be cool. You got no problem. You know, there's one guy that knows what this surprise is for the Horsemen, and I just want to know, what is that surprise?
Only you is going to be surprised. Yeah! Hey! Get up here! Hey! Don't give me that surprise crap! Who are you talking about, boy?
Listen, we ain't gonna fool around here much longer. We got rid of Sting, we got rid of Luger, Mr. Norman, and everybody else. Now, if you don't want to get your head stuck someplace where the sun don't shine, you better be telling us what the heck is going on. And I want to know now, right now, who that surprise is, Mr. Rocky King.
Let me explain something to you, boy. You can't moonwalk 1 foot with a broken leg, so spit it out. Flair, only he's going to take care of you, buddy. When he's coming here, your day's going to be over with. I'm telling you, only, so we're going to move. Who is it?
JYD. Big JYD.
Jim, that's the Junkyard Dog.
You! Hey! Let me see if I understand this right. You are the surprise that's supposed to make me look in a different direction. You're what's going to take the Horseman jump. You.
Hey, listen, show them how we take care of people like this back in old Minnesota.
Watch this one time.
Go for it.
Oh, a sucker punch. But JYD nails Ole Anderson. The big soup bone. Knockdown Flair. He's 315 pounds. He nails Flair again. Junkyard Dog. Big and bad as ever. The dog needs a bone to chew on. JYD came to fight. JYD over 300 pounds. He's all man, Cornette.
Jim, he's cleaned the entire ring out. Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, look, there's Ole trying to hold Flair out. JYD, the Junkyard Dog, is back, and he cleaned out that ring.
Flair is incensed. Flair has been nailed by the Junkyard Dog. Ole
All right. So I'll go to Doc first. What did you think?
JYD's wearing the same thing he wore to the pay-per-view last night or last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a whale.
Yeah, dude, he really got big. Like he's not like, oh, he gained a few pounds. He gained a lot of weight.
He
Big
couldn't
dude.
fit in a Toyota.
Now you see how it feel when somebody try to buy you.
Wow.
How do you do the Asian thing?
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Do it.
I'm not even trying.
Who's gonna cancel you, Zoncha?
I'm not even. No, I don't think I can pull it off.
Look, if I can figure out how to do Gordon Soley, you can do that.
That's a little different. Keep going, Doc. What else you got?
Well, calling him boy was stiff in any time.
Yeah.
And there's just so much racial overtones to this. There's the shuck and the jive element is very high. I feel like this is what they modeled New Day off of at the beginning.
No. No. Mm-mm.
It's almost like watching Blazing Saddles.
Kind of has that same sort of element to it. Mike, you've never seen Blazing Saddles, have you?
I've seen it. It's been 20 plus years easily.
Yeah.
You said it earlier. Rocky King's out there like prior on Saturday Night Live.
Eddie Murphy.
That's what I meant. Eddie Murphy. I was thinking prior because of Blazing Saddles.
He's a walking stereotype.
Oh my God. You watch it now and you're like, Jesus. Like it just glares at you. It blinds you.
What kind of car do you think he drives?
Wow. We still get. By the way, I still get hate mail from the time you said the Jive Tones car smells like weed and cocoa butter. Just so you know.
I don't see where the problem was.
Wow.
Who doesn't want to take the edge off?
Didn't Rocky
and not be ashy at the same time?
Oh, cocoa butter. Ain't nothing wrong with cocoa butter. Come on, man.
Yeah.
What's wrong with weed?
I put it on my toast.
It's not legal yet.
I bet you
states?
more of our listeners smoke weed than use cocoa butter.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But man, you know the state we live in. You better shut up.
You can't do anything over here, bro.
You can't do nothing. Oh, okay. So let's get back to it before we get on a tangent. The thing when Harper laughed, because it was funny, but damn, it was bad too. When he starts mocking Rocky King, what did he say, Harper?
What did he say? None of your Oh God.
I don't want to hear, boy, if it's gonna be a surprise. And he starts mocking him and trying to talk like him.
Yeah.
It's very stereotypical. And then JYD comes out and clears house. Now, Doc, I've actually got an explanation that would make sense to you and I in 1990.
Why he's wearing the same clothes?
No. He's got. I mean, I can't
did
answer
he
that.
Eat all of his other clothes.
Well, I mean, what's Ole's problem then? He's been wearing the black shirt and suspenders now for 2 months.
That's different.
Okay, it's different. Yeah, that's what hypocrites say. Just so you know,
Well,
hypocrites.
it's the same exact T-shirt.
They'll say that's different. That's what a hypocrite says. All right. Anyway, here's the explanation for JYD. Yes, Doc is right. He cut a promo at the pay-per-view. 100% agree. Here's the thing. This is May 26th. The pay-per-view was May 19th. How many people you think bought that pay-per-view?
247.
You got the number in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh.
I'm just take a guess.
Oh, fuck.
It ain't. Let me say this.
Less than 100,000.
Yeah.
It ain't the millions of people watching this episode, is my point. This is on TBS. It's still Saturday night on TBS. Thus, hang with me. I'm not saying this as an excuse, but I'm going to point out something. We're in a day and time when there's no network, no Peacock, no YouTube, no social media. If you didn't see the pay-per-view, which I'm going to say 90% or more of the people didn't see this pay-per-view, and you didn't see JYD in an interview, you would not have known that JYD had come back. The pay-per-view was on the 19th. This was taped on the 23rd, and it's aired on the 26th. So you wouldn't have seen it. You didn't see it, Doc. I certainly didn't see it. I know Harper didn't see it live. So none of us saw it live. So you watch it 31 years later with all the technologies we have and digital frickin' platforms and digital transformation, Doc.
Yeah.
When you watch it all these years later, 30 plus years later, you have a different optics on it and you're like, oh, well, what the hell? How could they do this? But you put yourself back in 1990, you didn't know JYD was there unless you were at the pay-per-view.
Him wearing the same clothes and already being on the pay-per-view is the third or fourth or fifth on the list of problems I have with this. The biggest problem I have with this is that this is how they introduced JYD. And yeah, it's easy to poke fun at the guy because he's turned into he's got his own zip code. But he's a big star. Paul Orndorff just got a mention. So they did that wrong.
Well, yeah, they could have.
Then there's all kinds of problematic issues with. So this is the real blurry line here for me. Ole and Flair are terrible heels. So is it okay for them to do this?
What, to make fun of Rocky King?
In a racial kind of way.
Are you saying them doing that made them baby faces?
No. I'm saying 2021, they would get canceled. But 1990, they were being heels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're heels. I'm not understanding what you're trying to say.
Or do you have a problem with them using race like this?
In 1990?
Boy.
See, this is the thing when you try to start comparing things by today's standards versus back then. This is the one thing that irritates me about not what we do, but people in general as we review old school wrestling. Would you like us to just not talk about it? It happened. Now, if you want me to say in 2021, when I see that, I go, God, that made TV. Boy, there's a lot of people that would be ready to cancel them. But you can't do that because it's an entertaining, it's entertainment. And I hate to say that because it's pro wrestling. And you can't look at it and go, what the hell were they doing back then? It's 1990. That's not even the worst thing that was on TV. Have you ever tuned into Archie Bunker? What was the name of it? All in the Family? I know that was years prior to this, so I mean that's probably not the best comparison. But
when do we snap the line? Why doesn't John Gruden get to do this stuff?
Man, I'm not getting into current events. My point being is, so now you're defending John Gruden. Boy, I can't wait till they find out who you are.
I'm not. I'm having a discussion with. I'm having a smart discussion with my best pals.
Well, first of all, what John Gruden did was a shoot. This is entertainment, just like any movie, just like any sitcom. This is entertainment. That's a whole nother topic. I don't think you should do that. Sitcoms are entertainment. Why do we need a censor? Don't get me started, man. Like, you got to have comedy. You got to have things that are funny. This wasn't funny. They did this to get heat. And to look at this now by 2021 standards and get mad, you shouldn't do that. You should just look at it and go, God, that was stiff, like we do. But I mean, they're being heels. What do you want them to do? You heard the reaction. That's the one thing we're not even talking about. Did you hear the reaction? Dog got cheered. I know he's 390 pounds, but he got cheered. I'm exaggerating. But they were happy when he came in there and beat their ass and chased them off. One other thing I got to point out, Doc. You talking about Orndorff? I think I have an explanation for that. I don't know this for a fact, but they got this clash coming up. They booked this wrong. This clash should not have been 2.5, 3 weeks from now. That's part of the problem. They're shoehorning it in quicker. They're forcing Orndorff in quicker.
I don't trust them to do a damn thing right after what I saw earlier in this episode.
The clash should have been further on down the line. They're shoehorning it in to get it in, and they should not be doing it. That's the problem.
Well,
that's why
probably got
Orndorff
a contract
feels
with
rushed.
the network.
Well, that's why Orndorff
and they
is
booked
being rushed
themselves
in.
into a corner.
Well, and we're going to see that in a second, and that's why I paused it. But that's part of what the problem is. Harper, you still there, or did you go take a dump? That's what I thought.
Yeah, he was like, "I've been turtle in it for too long. I got to go set it free."
Okay. Paul Orndorff. I'm sorry. Doug Furness defeats Zan Panzer. Paul Orndorff was on commentary, and he was talking bad about the Horsemen and how they do people in. And Doug Furness at one point hit a very nice backdrop on Zan Panzer. And Furness
he also hit a really nice drop kick for the finish.
He always does, man, doesn't he? I mean,
I like that dude. I can't, his brother was a doofus in Smoky Mountain, but I like watching Doug Furness.
Not the greatest promo, but as a wrestler, phew. I'll watch him any day of the week with those tree trunks he's got, man. And you're right, he's got springs in his legs. Okay, they go to Orndorff. And this is relatively short. Orndorff cuts a promo, and they announce right here, with not really any build-up, that Orndorff is going to battle Arn Anderson at the Clash. And this is the point I was trying to make. They're just shoehorning it in. They got to fit it in. They got this Clash coming up. They needed to make this announcement. It sucks because you're right. I don't think you're right about the JYD thing. No, he's overweight. But understanding about how he was a quote-unquote surprise, even though we saw him at the pay-per-view, most people didn't. The bigger problem to me is you bring Orndorff in with no fanfare, no surprise, because you got the Clash coming up. And that was, I think Harper said it. Orndorff, he made Smoky Mountain legitimate back when we were doing that. He was one of the guys
he lent a huge amount of credibility. And when he was fighting Ron Garvin, geez, that's big time for that area.
Yeah, just think about that. They booked that feud in Smoky Mountain. Orndorff and Garvin, 2 stars. And it helped legitimize the promotion in the early days of it. I think we talked about that when we did the RIP for Paul Orndorff. But yeah, Orndorff wins. I'm sorry, Orndorff cuts his promo.
Paul Orndorff died?
Paul Orndorff died. We did an RIP.
Man, it's hard to keep up with all these wrestlers, man.
Lots of wrestler deaths. But Orndorff will battle Arn Anderson at the Clash. Yeah, that's how they break the news. We keep going, and at least, we've got some continuity here.
Orndorff's a big addition here. I think we've kind of said that already, but we've got another influx of talent here.
He's a big addition, but to the point you made, and I hate agreeing with you, they did it wrong. He should have been a bigger surprise. But again, you're trying to force things in because you got a Clash coming up real quick soon. and they need to build the Clash up, and they're forcing it on us. No real build. I mean, they're trying, but they're forcing it. So, Doom, NWA World Tag Team Champions. If you didn't watch the pay-per-view, they defeated the Steiner Brothers in a fantastic match, and we broke it all down there. So become a patron at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. That way you can access it and watch and listen to us and watch the video version of it as well. Fantastic match. Doom is taking on Jerry Price and Tim Parker. Teddy Long's got a do-rag on. He's dancing and stuff at ringside like he always does. Cornette mentions on commentary that these guys, Doom that is, are the first African-American tag title holders in NWA history.
He didn't say that, did he? He said black.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
It's funny because you know what's crazy? So I'll use the term African American around my wife, and she
doesn't like
that.
it. Right. I was going to ask you that because I'm starting to have more and more. I am very popular in that community, and so I have lots of friends that don't look like me from a pigment perspective.
That community. Wow. That community. Wow.
Well, because I don't know what to call them yet. That's part of this discussion. I've asked people, because I like to call people what they prefer to be called. And I get more people say, I'd rather be black than African American.
Hey.
Well, that's
Speaking
my wife.
of, here's Harper.
That's my wife says that. She's like, she doesn't hate it, but she's like,
I just think there's a lot of white people that want to do right by your people and are probably still messing it up.
Yeah.
So Cornette says, I swear, man. Next week he'll say thanks Trump, and the week after that he'll say thanks Biden, and then the next week after that he'll say thanks Carter, and he's just going to be pissing everybody off because nobody understands jokes no more. Anyway, Cornette again commented.
What are we supposed to do? We supposed to just not do anything because the people won't get it, or should we be our best self?
I'm talking to a segment of
we
people.
Just call you a black asshole. That's what you are.
Cornette mentions once again, these are the first black NWA tag champions in history. That's not completely true because I looked up some stuff here. And in the 70s, Rufus R. Jones was a champion with Wahoo. Now, I know Wahoo's not a black man, but Rufus was.
That's half.
Okay, like I said, technically he's not correct. I'm not saying he's wrong. Tony Atlas also held it with Wrestling 2 in the 70s. So, they are the first.
But now it's black owned and black operated.
That is true.
It's like FUBU.
For us, by us, pal.
That's right, God damn it. we got this shit.
So they also mentioned during the match that Doom won that real quick. Doom is going to take on the Steiners. There's supposed to be a rematch at Clash 11.
Hey,
and that's
as we talked about on the Capital Combat. Let's do it.
That was match of the night.
Yeah.
Hate to spoil it for folks, but it was. Brian Pillman wins the Ruse Slam of the Week with his series of drop kicks. So there you go. And then they play an ad for NW Main Event that features Paul E. and Stan Hansen. I was trying to get to it.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, so why are we giving that away? These two assholes are, one's in the territory, one's back, and we didn't do anything but catch it by accident.
I forgot about old Paul A.
What do you mean, why are they giving it away? What are you talking about, Doc?
It's a commercial.
But look at this shit. Look at this shit.
I need you to explain what you're saying. Look at this, too.
I said, what is this a commercial for? They got Rick Steiner is dressed like a caveman drawn on a cave, and there's one of the Samoan SWAT team members with two bones, and he's, beating on a log like he's, in his, a stereotypical.
This is so racist.
Right. And he throws the bone up, and it turns into a phone. And I was like, this is a commercial for the fucking wrestling hotline?
We're going full-on racist here.
Bro.
This says WW light doing corny shit like this.
What I'm saying is, we just saw a commercial that let us know Stan Hansen's in the territory. So Stan Hansen is a former AWA World Heavyweight Champion. Paul Orndorff was in the first WrestleMania, and we're just kind of letting this all happen as a natural course of events.
I see what you're saying. You prefer seeing Stan Hansen on Saturday night first.
Fuck yeah.
I don't care if that is, if we're not seeing different programs, like you said, that if what you said about JYD is true, and I'm willing to say you're right, then the same holds true for this main event. Don't show me Stan Hansen when I'm watching this program.
I guess it's just trying to get people to tune in the main event. I mean, look, here's the thing. We're going to see Stan Hansen a lot on Saturday night. But I hear you.
Yeah.
People like the surprise. And this is towards the end of when you could really surprise people. They're doing everything wrong behind the scenes here.
You could surprise people till the internet became a thing. Even the smart fans, you still had to subscribe to those newsletters.
Out, bro.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Started. The Usenet groups and shit.
Yeah.
That's how I found out what happened to Dino Bravo.
What?
From the internet?
Yeah.
He was in the mafia.
Yeah. But I didn't know that in 1996 or 1995.
Woke up this
morning. I had a friend with the
morning.
dial-up, man. We'd sit there and wait 30 minutes for that shit to dial up and then start the page to load.
Oh, God. Remember that shit, dude?
No, it was awful.
Dude, you would sit there for 10 minutes waiting for images.
Bro, just to see a fucking meme.
Right? Just to see one image. You'd sit there for 5 minutes at least.
Go to 3328 and tell me what Corny said.
Okay, well, let me tell the people what's happening first. You said 3328, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go back. Before we do that, we're now
We've got
watching
the Steiners with Joe Cruz and Bubba Rose in a Steiners have got to be angry here because they've just lost the titles to Doom, and so they're going to take it out on these two guys. But Corny's got something to say behind the match.
You said 3328, right?
Yeah.
All right, 3325. Let's see.
He was surrounded by 20,000 lightning bugs, and Junkyard Dog comes in the ring and starts beating people up right and left.
Hold on. You gave me a bad stamp. Let me go back a few more seconds and get the rest of it. All right,
this was cancelable.
Right after this match.
As well you should. You've talked to everybody else. Do you ever get the feeling that things have gotten away from you, out of control? I don't know what's going on. There's been more people come through here today than at a truck stop out on Interstate 85. You had an interview with Mushmouth Rocky King. He was surrounded by 20,000 lightning bugs, and Junkyard Dog comes in the ring and starts beating people up right and left. What the heck's going on around here?
Oh, what a move there by Scotty Steiner. Caught Cruz as he tried to leapfrog and suplexed him. We got a great program.
Jesus. Wow. Okay, I don't know what to say.
At first, I didn't get it.
I had to listen to it twice. I was like, oh, shit.
I was like, lightning bugs. Why is he surrounded by lightning? I was like, oh.
God.
We all don't have those, huh?
We used to have them when I was a kid, and now they're all the pesticides have killed them all.
Oh.
I meant lightning bugs, not black people.
Oh, my God.
I think people knew what you meant.
I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah, obviously, man. Somebody will take that the wrong way. God.
So is that okay for him to do? Corny. You wish he wouldn't have said that.
I mean, back then, bro, it was 1990.
Once again, he's a heel. I'm not advocating
he got canceled for something similar with the NWA.
Well, I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating you do that now. What he just said.
I am. Why not?
But okay, 1990. Here, I've said this before in the show. The one thing that pisses me off about wrestling versus any other forms of entertainment,
we treat it like it's real, and then we treat it like it's fake whenever it suits our needs.
That's right. It makes me. That's the part that I don't like. You can't push the envelope because you're going to offend somebody. And I'm thinking to myself, do you watch television? Do you watch sitcoms? Do you watch movies? Do you watch comedies? Do you watch anything on television where there's an actual heel and a babyface, or I'm sorry, a protagonist and an antagonist?
I watch football every weekend. I see nothing but heels and baby faces.
That's different though. With actually entertainment shows that are scripted, even though football can be scripted, I'll make some people mad out there. These things are scripted. These racial undertones that are put in sitcoms and television shows and movies, that stuff's scripted. What the hell do you think wrestling is? But people, you can't do it in wrestling, but you can do it in entertainment. It drives me nuts. So now, I think what Corny said. Hold on, exactly let me finish. Yes, I think what he said was terrible.
Harper and I are such just loving of all creatures kinds of people that we had to both go back and go, now, wait a minute. What was that?
Lightning bugs.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I want to remind you, he's a heel. He's a heel manager.
It's a deep joke. I mean, it's not like deep, like philosophically, but you got to pay attention to what he's saying, because also he's spitting one-liners and talking fast like Corny does, which is why I was like taking notes and watching. I was like, wait, what did he just say?
He lets it fly, man. All right.
So now we're going to have Rick come down with a case of jungle fever in what is by far the most racially tinged episode of wrestling we've ever watched.
There's a lot of racist stuff in this. Let's go to Ric Flair now.
I said racially tinged.
Let's go to Flair.
And ladies and gentlemen, the crowd here chanting JYD, JYD, and they're talking to you, Nature Boy.
Well, let me explain one thing, and let's get this out front right now, behind my back. The National Wrestling Alliance, I'm just told, has signed a match for the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship on the Clash of Champions National Television with Ric Flair, your champion, wrestling everybody's black hero, the Junkyard Dog. Now, Dog, there's a lot of people in this sport that I don't like for professional reasons, for personal reasons, right on down. I don't like you. And a minute ago, you made the mistake of jumping on a $6 million athlete, custom made. Let me explain something to you. And I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. You will never high-five Michael Jackson. You will never high-five Mike Tyson. You will never sit on Arsenio Hall's show and say you are the first black heavyweight champion of the world over my dead body. You understand that? Think about it. You will not go in the record books at my expense. And I'm going to say one thing else to you. When Janet Jackson wrapped her arms around this, she don't say nothing about the Junkyard Dog. When Paula Abdul grabs this arm and says, "Ooh, champ," she don't say nothing about the Junkyard Dog. So, at the Clash of Champions nationwide, my esteemed friend, I am gonna thump you for a number of reasons. Number one being, I'm Ric Flair, and no athlete on the face of this earth insults me.
Clash of Champions live on TBS Wednesday, June 13th, World Championship
Ric Flair and the Junkyard Dog, and we'll be right back.
Oh, well, Doc, I guess I'll throw it to you.
That should have ended the show, by the way.
Yeah.
You're promoting the Clash on the way out. He was straddling some lines there, and then not straddling some lines. There's an Aerosmith shirt. I'm going to push it back at you, Mike. What do you think about this? Because here's the thing. We've said they're being heels, but now, man, this thing is just, it's just race, and not Harley.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing. It's all about race.
I mean, what else can they say? I guess because it's staring you in the face, you know?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, you could have brought in JYD without the race connotations. They took steroids and injected it into this whole thing with what they did with Rocky King. Because
I think it's, why is he out there?
Why is who out there?
Rocky King.
Well, that's the thing. They were like, well, we got a black guy. We can take Rocky
Right.
King and
But the thing is, we haven't seen him in forever, since
Oh.
the studio days.
get used to it. That's what I'm saying. The way they bring him in with his mannerisms, they make it about race from the get-go. And then, you know, Flair and Ole with the boy comments and pushing them on the chest. Because, we didn't talk about that. Just their mannerisms towards him.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky's
Those
moving
were
his head. And,
those were microaggressions, Mike.
of course.
Yeah, those were like a fucking cop, like an old Buford
God.
D. Justice pulling over a black kid or something.
I'm gonna keep going. That way this doesn't tailspin. But
I mean, that's what it reminded me. Remember in Smokey and the Bandit, when he wrecks and they got the black cop, he goes, "Boy, where's Sheriff so-and-so?" And he goes, "I am Sheriff so-and-so." It says, "Oh, my apologies. You sounded taller on the radio."
Jesus.
Remember that?
Jesus Christ. Oh my. Oh.
And then he kind of turns back over. He goes, "What in the hell is this world coming to?"
God. For the world really was different. Anyway, we'll get back on track here. Man, there's just a lot.
This is a weird episode, dude. It's bad from the. It's just, I don't like it.
We didn't even
Road
talk about.
Warriors are just there.
They are running out the clock.
Yeah.
They cut a promo and then they squashed Ned Brady and Rick Fargo. But what I was gonna say about Flair, Flair's kind of getting he got all racist earlier, calling Rocky King boy, and just the man, just mocking him, and it was really, you watch it and you're like, wow. But then he starts talking about how he, spends time and high fives Mike Tyson and Arsenio Hall, and then he says, you'll never know what it feels like to have Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul wrap their arms around you. Like, okay, so he's a racist earlier, but he sure loves his black women.
Sounds like you.
He's
Hey.
okay. He's
Champ.
so he's
Sounds like you,
claiming.
champ.
So he's claiming that he's mixed it up. Like he basically said, I've got some tang from Janet and Paula.
He's got jungle fever.
Nothing beats when Darren said, Harper, I done got more tang than you would ever dream of. Dang.
Sometimes quality is not better. Quantity is not better than quality, though.
That's true.
True statement. If I've ever heard one.
You're banging some snaggletooth. There ain't nothing good coming out of that.
Okay. Any
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Any other thoughts on the Road Warriors, Harper? We kind of breezed through
no
that.
more notes the rest of the episode because the
No.
ending was Flair.
Right.
Well, guess what? Go ahead, Harper.
No, nothing. The fuck Road Wars is just.
I got one more thing before
you
we rate it and hand out
do. It's
Rolexes.
the Jaworski moment of the week.
Sting and Tommy Rich cut a promo at the end.
Well, that's because we put the random generator on Tommy Rich, and this is who he's standing next to now.
They spin the wheel, make the deal.
Yeah.
Let's go now to this promo with these two.
A great victory for the Road Warriors. Of course, they've challenged the Horsemen right here next week on World Championship Wrestling. We're here with Sting and Tommy Rich. What do you think about JYD stepping to the head of the line?
I just feel so good because a lot of us here in the NWA decided to get together, take on a new attitude. Who was first in line but JYD? He gets in the ring with Ric Flair, the Horseman, of course, jumped to the ring and he says, I got a new attitude. Just try it. Barked at him a little bit and bam, they left. Woo! That makes me feel good.
I mean, what do you think about this situation?
You know, the reason that the Horsemen were so successful in the 80s is because their situation, it was always 4-on-1. Well, Horsemen, it's the 90s now. You know, talk about gangs. They've always had their gangs. Well, Sting, Lex Luger, the Wildfire, Paul Orndorff, JYD, that's a pretty good gang there. And we want all our people. That's going to be the rest of our gang. So everybody come on down because I tell you what, the 90s is going to bring a lot on the Horsemen. Sting, Luger, myself, like I said, JYD, Orndorff, we fired up about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go now to the A&W King of the Slams.
Sting is screaming like an asshole.
Imagine being such a shitty promo that you got to bring in Tommy Rich to make sense. 'Cause that's what he did. He just explained he was like the Sting whisperer and told us what Sting was saying.
What Sting at the end?
JYD Orndorff, we fired up about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go now to the A&W.
All right, on that note, it's almost time to get out of here. We need to take care of some business. I talked about becoming a patron, but another way you could support this show is by using our Amazon Associates link. The show gets a little bit of kickback in return when you use that link. It is tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. That's tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Great way to support the show. Sting with his mouth wide open. Great way to support the show without spending anything extra. If you're already on Amazon, please use that link each and every time you're on Amazon.
Should start shopping now. Them supply chains is fucked.
Put that link into the browser of your wife, girlfriend, side piece, whatever it is. Do like our friend JBL Objective on Twitter said, literally type it in for them in the browser and bookmark it for them. That way they use it every time they shop on Amazon. tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. And like I said, if you want that pay-per-view that we just did, want the Clash that's coming up in a couple of weeks, tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. All right, Doc. I'll let you choose. You want to rate it or Rolex it first?
You tell me.
Rate it.
F.
Stupid.
That is the worst thing we have ever seen on this show.
Yeah, this is bad, bro.
F.
Okay, we just did episodes with Ninja Turtle Norman and Babyface Abdullah. You can't tell me this is the worst. They couldn't dominate it because they were incompetent.
I'm mad at the Luger thing.
Oh yeah, forgot about the whole Luger thing.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen on a wrestling show. I think.
With a staph infection.
I mean, unless we're talking about like Jake or Scott Hall being all fucked up and stuff, but.
Okay, so you're really giving it an F.
I'm mad. I don't like it.
Wow.
And then look at this goof.
Like that dude called you and Harper.
We're going to put the strap on this asshole.
Remember I told you there was a guy who was listening to the Mid-South show and he started listening to BTT and he like listened to one episode and didn't even make it through the opening, I guess. And he's tweeting me, I need to get rid of you two goofs.
He needs to send his broad over to me and Harper for a night. We'll teach her what's up.
Wow. Okay, so what are you giving it, Harper? What do you grade?
A D.
Nah, I'm not going that low. I'll give it a
Broad,
C.
This is shit.
And it didn't have to be. With Orndorff, Stan Hansen, Paulie, even JYD, this is a new infusion of talent. It should be looked upon favorably.
Yeah, this was bad, dude. Fucking Rocky King. It's like, what the dancing around like a.
All right. Well, I gave it a C. Okay, Doc, who are you giving your Rolex to since you're mad and giving it an F?
No one.
Harper stole the words straight out of my mouth. When there's an F, nobody. Everybody needs to stop thinking about Rolexes and really take a hard look in the mirror and see what they've done wrong.
You're going to give it to Jim Hurd's hairdresser, friend? Got to get the pay-per-view.
Up his ass.
I mean, you wouldn't even give it to Ole. Ole wasn't really racist.
What?
Was he? Well, yeah, he did kind of.
Call him boy and shit, and.
Well, no, I mean that was Flair mostly, but Ole kind of was.
For us to find a new promotion to cover.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah, dude.
So you're not giving out a Rolex, Doc?
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, this is bad, bro.
And guess what, Harper? Next week's episode is 2 fucking hours long.
Oh,
That's
fuck
not,
no.
I'm
not watching it.
Mike. It's lots of commercials though. Is what he's.
Let's get a new promotion. Let's do ECW so we'll make the champ happy.
Have you tried to watch ECW episodically?
Let
me just tell you.
New.
Let's start watching USWA for 1990.
There you go.
ECW doesn't age well. All right.
Yeah, but the champ liked it.
In his love of Southern wrestling, right? Yeah.
Right.
All right.
He liked it when they came to New Orleans. That's what he liked, right?
Bro.
Yeah.
Harper, he continued that lie he tells himself lately with his love of Southern wrestling when we talked the other night.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure did. Yep. All right. Before we get out of here, I do want to.
When he and his kids start wearing bandanas tied to themselves like the Rock and Roll Express.
Before we get out of here, do need to remind everyone.
Rolex?
Sting. Before we get out of here, I want to remind everyone about Harper's video shoutouts, life advice, relationship advice. If you want a video or you want to send someone a video because you want Harper to cut a promo on them even. First thing, go and send Harper an email, chrisharper16wildcat@gmail.com. That's chrisharper16wildcat with a K @gmail.com. And then you got to PayPal him $20 to cc30388cc@yahoo.com. If you want props, you'll have to send a little bit more money so our man Harper can pick up the props. Again, cc30388cc@yahoo.com is his PayPal address. And I also want to mention, before we get out of here, our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn, the northern version of BTT, slightly classier, a little bit more professional, but still fun nonetheless. They support us, please support them. And check out the Bottom Line Cast with Mike Prue and JV as they cover the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't have nothing else. These two salty sons of guns are mad at the world after this episode. So, Harper, hit the tagline. Let's go home.
Book it, bitch.